Hi there, my name is Joseph Anderson, and welcome to this episode of Returned Missionary University. Regardless whether you've been back 10 days, 10 months, 10 years, or you've never served a mission, these videos are to help you become the best person that you can possibly be. Now today, once again, we're going to continue our episodes on relationships. Because it's February, and it's Valentine's, and all that stuff's in the air. So as many of you know, well, as probably all of you know, this past weekend was Valentine's Day weekend. And if you were that lucky guy or lucky girl that had the chance to take out the person of your dreams, and maybe even had that DTR, and maybe you entered into a relationship, now there's some really important things to understand. There's certain needs that people have in a relationship. Agora eu vou começar a falar em português e ninguém vai poder entender, ou pelo menos você já falou português. What did I just say? Do you have any idea? Now, honestly, what I just said was I'm going to speak Portuguese, and if you don't speak Portuguese, you're not going to understand. But the same way that everybody speaks different languages, there's actually different languages that we speak in different love languages. Now, this was a science, and it's also a book written by Gary Chapman. It's called The 5 Love Languages. And anytime that I'm working with a client on a relationship, there's a pretty good chance that they're going to end up reading this book. It is absolutely fascinating. And just to let you know, the 5 love languages are physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, and gifts. So we all speak in one of these languages. For example, guys, have you ever had that time when you were dating somebody and you went and you told them how amazing and how wonderful they were the entire time, and they kept turning around saying, "You don't even care about me. You don't even like me." It was probably because words of affirmation was not their main love language. So we all have a primary love language, and sometimes we even have a secondary love language. And this is really, really important to know. Now, if you know that the girl or guy you're dating, their language is physical touch, and you give them a hug every time you see them, they're going to feel pretty loved. Now, if you just start giving them gifts all the time and never hugging them or touching them or kissing them, then they're not going to feel any love. So it's really important to understand people's love languages. And it's really even important to understand your own. A lot of times we don't even understand our own love language. Now, once again, this is a book by Gary Chapman, and I think it's had over 2 million copies sold. And they even have a singles version. It's 5 love languages for singles, and that's a phenomenal book as well. But if you want to really understand relationships, and you want to really understand how to take care of that person that you're in a relationship with, because if you don't, then the relationship won't last. But if you find out that their love language is words of affirmation, and all of the time you're telling them how awesome and how amazing they are, and giving them genuine words of affirmation, then they're going to be pretty happy. And if their language is quality time, and you spend a lot of quality time with them, that's not when you're on your phone and you're sitting next to each other. That's when you're next to them, talking, listening. Then they're going to feel pretty loved. So I highly recommend this book. This book is really one of those game changers that can change your life. So pick it up. You can get it on Audible. You can get it on Amazon. And you can even probably get it at DI. A lot of the most books that'll change your life are found at DI for $1. Or Goodwill if that's more in your area. But once again, give this book a try. Or even just go to his website and learn what your love language is. And I think you'll be really surprised. And then that person that you just started creating this relationship with over Valentine's weekend, it'll start to flourish a lot better. So once again, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Returned Missionary University. We'll see you next week.